the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonian, land of freedom, you shall hear in plenty meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonian, land of freedom, you shall hear in plenty meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us our freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bore the lonely diablo. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in our nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father.
The eve of the All Ambazonian Consultative Conference. It's a very special broadcast, and I just want you to stay put, watch, and listen, because we've got very special information to bring to you. This is very important because we have long awaited this conference, and if you have not booked your flight or plan to carpool to Washington DC for the Million Man March, please, you got to do so because the time is running out. I come to you with a very special presentation, and with me in the studio right here at ABC is the one and only acting president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Sako. Doctor, good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. And on my right is the one and only Comrade John Mbah Akuro of the consortium. Comrade, good to see you, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And also on my right is the only honorable chairman in the House, and in this struggle, the chairman of the Revolutionary Council, the Honorable Kometa Elvis. Good to see you, sir.
My pleasure, Secretary Chris.
And we are gathered here tonight to have a chat on what is coming up at the weekend, the All Ambazonia Consultative Conference. We have never had a thing like this. This is a historic moment in this struggle, and we are expecting every Southern Cameroonian, every Ambazonian, especially within the Washington metro area. Please, we are looking up to you to show up in your hundreds of thousands especially for the Million Man March on Sunday at the White House. We expect every one of you come out with your children, come out with your entire families and join us at Washington, D.C. for the march on the White House. It is very, very important. And before I move on, I would like the president to throw more emphasis on why everyone must be out for this rally.
Fellow Ambazonians, dear Southern Cameroonians, this is history that is being made. I want you not just to be told what happened, especially if you are in North America. If you have not yet made your mind to be here, you can pick up a late flight right here today, tomorrow, and make sure you buy your ticket, you carpool with somebody. You better be part of history. Be a history maker. Don't be one that will read what will happen. We want to we want to be in DC. We want to first of all make our voices heard on Saturday. That you can do anytime, even in the air. You can log in and hear the voices, especially from ground zero, what they are telling us as leaders of this revolution, what they want, so that we reflect their views, their positions, their demands as we execute or prosecute this struggle. Then especially the Million Man March. Please be counted. Let your devotion be counted. Be there in your person. Make sure you are not represented. Be there and let us make history. Let us march with a purpose. Let the world hear what we want. For the first time, let's make a demand. Let's make a clear demand to the international community, especially to our host, the host of this demonstration, the United States of America. Let's make a direct request to the government of this country. We believe that the time is now, the time is right. And if you can make your numbers known by the petitions that you are going to get signed and yourself, your person in attendance, we can change the game. We can usher a new era in this struggle. So please come and be counted. You're welcome.
Thank you. Comrade Akuro, this is a moment unlike before in this struggle. And we have not done this before. I'm talking about the Million Man March. We have done other rallies in the past. We had one in New York, I think almost a year ago. But we are talking about a Million Man March. Somebody asked me, do we have 1,000,000 people, Southern Cameroonians in the diaspora? And I said, in the U.S. alone, I believe we have more than that. What are your expectations as we gather on Sunday, and what do you think would come out of this?
I think that the most important thing we should recognize is that, as a matter of fact, language is so rich that there are always devices that enable us to be able to, pass across a big message. Or say a Million Man March. We don't even need to bother to know whether there are up to 1,000,000 people of Southern Cameroon's origin in the United States of America. I think what we need to say is the specificity of this particular event, of this particular demonstration, is that it is a come together of all the movements that are animating this revolution, that are doing everything possible to ensure that we pass over to future generations a new, brand new country devoid of all of the vices that we have known for 57 years. And so what are we doing? We are making sure that when you, a Southern Cameroonian, an Ambazonian, you are leaving your house to go for this demonstration, you live with your neighbors who can be Africans, who are in America, who can be African Americans, who can be Americans. Which means, therefore, that we are seeking 1,000,000 people to be at the White House. It's not just 1,000,000 Southern Cameroonians, 1,000,000 Ambazonians. We are looking for 1,000,000 Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, and the friends and sympathizers of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. I think that comforts you to understand that it is possible for us to do it. And when I'm saying this, the image that comes to my mind is the image of that gentleman who, at the prime of the struggle, stood in winter, in ice, on the roads and refused to even protect himself and he held billboards, and all the people who were driving by stopped because they thought he was mad to find out about what is the issue here. And the guy said, "My country is in shit. My people are dying. We are suffering. For 57 years, we have been witnessing recolonization after colonization." You know, his single action impressed a lot. And I'm sure the flyers, the banners, and all that he gave to those people he spoke to, he interacted with, touched their hearts and made them to go find out more about what is happening to us. The good news is that I've heard a lot of people who didn't feel at some point so particularly touched or interested in this struggle tell me how they've talked to their neighbors, how they've convinced their neighbors, how a lot of their neighbors and friends and even sympathizers in other cities within the DMV area and even beyond have pledged that they are going to take off this Sunday and come and join us to say no to a disaster that is attacking humanity as a whole. Because if we say the world is a global village, it therefore means when it touches the Southern Cameroonian, it touches the American, it touches the Ugandan, it touches the Nigerian, it touches the Liberian. So this is a different kind of event, the kind of event that hasn't been staged. Because, you know, in the hierarchy of events, we had what we call a Magnificat on the 22nd of September 2017, where we had millions of Southern Cameroonians not only on the streets in Southern Cameroon but across the world. So this is going to be different because we now want other people to add their voices to our voices, to tell the American government that the time has come to put an end to this. And again, another peculiarity is that we're moving now from the era where each group, each individual felt like I need to clap only for my cheerleader, to make people realize that it is possible for us to begin from today, going forward, build an Ambazonia where all of us begin by understanding that we are people who have one destiny, we have a collective destiny. We are people who have lived through the same kind of torture. We are people who are put together by history, meaning therefore that we are children of the same father and mother. That father and mother represents Southern Cameroon. And so in an era where we want to talk about collaboration and everything, we are therefore saying the collaboration we want to see should stem from the people's show of what we call unity, which means that what? The people should be able to, by their presence, by their actions, by their attitudes, tell the leaders that we want all of you together. And so that is why our meeting for the discussions of collaborative talks is slated for Monday, the 20th, after this show of force on Sunday. So this is a moment where if you haven't bought your ticket, get out now and get the ticket. If you realize that because it will be so complicated for you to have a ticket now, it'll be so expensive, but you can drive, there's still time. You people can put yourselves together. 5, 4, 3, and all not, and drive your way to Washington. This is summer. A lot of people are going on vacation. A lot of people are having fun, right? Decide that this is a fun you want to have for the summer period, and make it out there to Washington. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Akuru. Comrade Chairman, this event is being compared to October 22nd and September 22nd and October 1st, 2017, when our people on Ground Zero first came out in their millions to formally declare the restoration of our sovereignty. And this event, Million Man March in Washington, D.C., is being equated to what happened September 22 and October 1st last year. Do you see this event as reinvigorating a new spirit of commitment for the revolution in the hearts of Ambazonians, both home and abroad?
Certainly, Comrade Chris. 22nd September, we're in New York and we're there in our thousands, and we know back home on Ground Zero, all Ambazonians came out. All Southern Cameroonians came out to say no, we are no longer within La Republique. And of course, on the 1st of October, we did celebrate our independence. That's the restoration of the independence. But this weekend, all roads lead to Washington, D.C. When I say all roads, I mean all roads, because I've had calls from Brazil, I've had calls from Alaska. So Southern Cameroonians are coming, or even from Europe. There are people who are coming here for this conference. Please, this is not a joke. We are here this time to say we have to take this fight to the very end. My dear brothers and sisters, to all those of you on ground zero, a child is being born. And who is this mother? The mother is all of you on ground zero. So you are pushing. The child is already, the head of the child is already out there, the hands are there. And what is left now is for the feet to come out. So the leaders are the midwife. The leaders are the midwife helping to push to the birth of this child. So as all the leaders gather here, we once more emphasize that we are here to do what will take us to Boya, what will help deliver this new child. Sunday, the 19th of August, should be a historic day in the history of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. We will be in the millions, not only Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians, as Comrade John earlier said, but we have our friends, sympathizers, well-wishers of Ambazonia. We know we start at 10 a.m. with an economical church service. So there will be priests, there will be pastors, there will be an imam. Every person will be represented. To those who cannot go to church before that time, know all of us will be there to pray to the Almighty, to pray to Allah. And after that, we'll be there all day, and we'll leave from there at 5 p.m. So everyone is encouraged. Carpool. Those in DC Metropolis, we have metro. Carpool. Make sure you are there. Don't sit behind to say, oh, I was not aware, or I hadn't a ride. Please, be part of history. Let the whole world see that this time, Southern Cameroonians have said, no, this is the last time that they will see us in our millions marching, protesting, demonstrating, and asking for intervention from the US and from President Donald Trump. Let this be the last time. We would like that come October, we should have this new child that is the newest nation on earth. We should have it, and we should no longer be demonstrating for the new child. The new child should be born, and we should be celebrating come 1st October.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. President, you have a petition going to Donald Trump that is accompanying the rally on the Sunday, the Million Man March rally on Sunday. Our people would like to know what this petition is all about, because there is so much pressure out there for people to sign, take the petition out for people to sign. If we can educate people on the importance of this petition, so those who have not signed can take it out for people to sign.
Yeah, so to Chris, here's the thing. What we have sent out is the signature page of our petition. We are going to write an elaborate petition that will comprise of all our resolutions as the leadership of this Trump to the American government and to the leaders of the world. So what we have printed there is a summary of our demands, and then the signature page. And every single paper you print enables you to collect at least 20 signatures. We did that so that it can be easy. And then we also have an online petition, which was launched in change.org. And I'm sure if you check in the forum, if you're in a WhatsApp forum, or in the forum, you are going to find the online petition, which you can just send to your friend right away. This petition is expected to be signed by Americans whether you are of any origin, African American, Asian American, Caucasian American, but Americans of voting age, especially, because from 18 years, we want to make a statement. Because in a democracy like we have in America, numbers matter. If we can get 100,000 people to sign our petition, and yes, we can, because with 5,000 of us, whom we are already expecting about that number in Washington anyway. So if we can get just 5,000 of us excited enough, concerned enough to go to their job sites, to their co-workers, to their neighbors, to their church members, and secure 20 signatures each, that's 100,000. And if we can have 100,000 petitions, both online and offline printed, we are statutorily, by the constitution of this country, by the conventions, the political conventions, they are going to pay immediate attention to that petition. When a petition is backed with those kind of signatures, that number of signatures. So let's go above 100,000. Yes, we can. You have seen the killings on ground zero. You have seen the maimings on ground zero. You have heard the cry of our brothers and sisters, our children, our mothers, and our fathers. Please, just do this. Go out tonight. Print that signature page. Make sure you can get 20 signatures. You must have contributed a lot in this struggle.
And Mr. President, somebody is asking, when they are signed, how do they return it?
Now, the best way to return it, if not, there are many ways. If you have somebody you know is coming to this program, you can just sign it and hand it to that person. If you don't know, you can WhatsApp it to somebody you have in your book, in your address book that you know is attending this program. If you still don't have, then you can send an email to presidency at ambazoniagov.org. Presidency at ambazoniagov.org. If you send it there, my office will personally be printing hundreds and thousands of them from tomorrow. So please, you can do that. If you can't print it yourself and bring it along, or you can't carry it along, you can give it to somebody who can do it for you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that answer. Now, I go back to Comrade Akuro. A lot has taken place in the background before the conference coming up at the weekend and the Million Man March. But let's talk about the conference itself. Many people said it will not happen, but finally it is going to happen. Can you tell our audience the little work that you were involved in this, that took place in the background for this to happen? I think it will inspire them.
I have the habit of laughing when we get to some of this kind of very interesting, though easy subject matters. I must say that the first thing to do is to hail all the frontline leaders who are, conducting this revolution, because it was the collective will of all the leaders to decide that this conference should take place. Because when we sat together for the first time, we realized it made a lot of sense for us to come in together. And so for us to be able to share ideas, share experiences, and for us to be able to sit down and recognize that our people are dying. And that because our people are dying, it makes sense for us to put people first, before our individual thoughts, before our group thoughts. That is why I would like to point out here very categorically and clearly that the overall perception that the leadership of the struggle across the board holds of this conference is that it is one very important moment where we must dot the I's and cut the T's, because the world is watching. Yaoundé has been making a lot of gesticulations. Recall, in my last but one communication, I reviewed a letter from one of our elite who put together two others and they became three and expressed their anxiety to see us flatter them. When I say flatter them, is show them that we mean business. Show them that we are not out there for our own personal or selfish ambitions. That we are not in this thing because we are expecting personal gains at some point. Let us flatter them. And they will be able to do the unthinkable within that system. They will be able to go all the way and come out of their shells at one point and tell the world, this is what we have been going through. This is what we know. And they have a store of information. Recall, the last pieces of information they gave us helped us to realize, number one, that La République du Cameroon has not only ended at Pattonsburg, right, at Square Pattonsburg, that they also, through Square Pattonsburg, hired another firm, to which firm they are going to be paying more money than they're even paying to Square Pattonsburg. Square Pattonsburg is $400,000 for 1 year. But Mercury is taking $100,000 every other month, which means that in 1 year they would have taken $1.2 million. Now, if La République du Cameroon can get to this extent, and this I really want us to know all this, so that we gauge the level of our commitment to this struggle, so that we know that the liberty, the freedom we seek has a price. This price will be in kind and also in cash. But the personal and most important part of the price will be in kind, where we all recognize that for us to attain our objective, we need to speak one language. We need to create a kind of focus. So the leaders came together. We told ourselves it makes a lot of sense for us to begin to talk. This unity and collaboration we are seeking, it may not happen tonight, right? It may not even happen completely over this weekend. But trust me, because this is work in progress, trust me that what we have already done this far, the grounds we have covered this far, demonstrate that about all the leaders have interest in us being together. That is again why we have been able to put our minds and heads together to respond to some of those critical questions that in the past would simply have meant doom. Because like I was on a number of forums today, taking questions people ask, but you say this is a collaborative conference. Why is it that the petitions that we are seeing are carrying only the address of the interim government, the email address of the interim government? Why is it that it's always saying, I said, no, wait a minute. This is work in progress. And I said, do you know that this petition is even drafted and prepared and a lot of things by Comrade Bo Herbert, who is of more risk? A lot of our members, a lot of our people, a lot of our followers need time to adapt to the changing circumstances. If we want to become excessively exigent within these only days, when we have to be able to stage these actions, we are going to destroy the big edifice that we all want to build. That is why, at a lot of points, we need to be able to not only shout, but do what? Contribute. Contribute. Contribute with the view to help us achieve this lofty ambition. The tides may be strong, but I am very, very convinced we will overcome. That's number one. And then number two, I want to say the desire of all the leaders also to say we join forces and have a serious kind of mobilization to remove the kind of crowd that has not been removed before in Washington, D.C. tells you to what extent we are ready to go. So, Comrade Chris Anu, trust me, the people of Ambazonia want to see us closely knit. The people of Ambazonia want to cross this back page very fast. And for that reason, the leaders understand this and they know what it means not to be in tune with what the people want. If the people are not there, Comrade Sako, am I right? We are nothing.
Thank you very much. I'd like to come back to you on these two letters that came from the elites, ministers in La République regime that were sent to you. And I want to believe you have been in constant communication with some of these ministers. Have they been able, because this is what I think, I truly believe that if these ministers and the parliamentarians and senators will all say, we are walking out of this, we no longer belong here, this is no longer our country, we will do what our ancestors did in Nigeria in 1953, the story of this revolution would be different today. So I don't know whether you have been able to ask them what stops you? What stops you from walking away from La Republic?
You will bear with me that a lot of these people, if they even trust me to the point of being able to offer these communications with me, is because way back when I was operating in La République du Cameroon, they knew me as one person who will always tell them what I felt, looking at an eyeball to eyeball, without caring whatever they thought about or whatever they could do with the power. And I always called it before them the little power that they have. I remember in one person's office on the day after Cameroon hosted this thing they called Invest in Cameroon. That was in 2016 in May. And I sat in his office and I was talking. At that time, we're not yet inside the struggle. And he said, you have been talking to a lot of people. What is it that the people think we need to do for them to invest in Cameroon? I said, but you know as well as I do. You don't need, it's not rocket science. These people are right. They are clear that this country doesn't know social justice. 2, this country has an aging president who is out of touch with reality. 3, the part of the country where a lot of the resources that are needed to make the economy of this country move is wallowing in total underdevelopment, and the people have been talking to foreigners about their degree of disgruntledness, and they know they can explode at any time. And the man looked at me and said, Mr. John Bakura, if you didn't say this, I would have said you changed your name overnight. So I have been talking to these people. But one thing these people tell me is, we didn't start this. We are not at the head of this. We will not be coming in to lead your revolution. If we come in, we'll only be coming in to join you. But what is frightening us is you people seem to be so much in disparate ranks. You people seem to be so divided. It is true that we have tried, done our best to divide you people so much along the lines northwest, southwest. But unfortunately, along those lines, you people have remained close. But when it comes to managing the revolution, a lot of you appear not to be agreeing a lot. So what we are doing is, we right now have opened this window with you to help give out information that helps embarrass the system. To give you people the opportunity to realize that if you lock yourselves together, begin speaking one language, having one focus, begin cooperating, sharing information among yourselves, we will give you even more sensitive intelligence, which wouldn't be used for the public, which will not authorize you to present to the people, but which will enable you develop tactics that will make us end this thing so quickly and save the lives of a lot of our people that are dying. That is why when we begin to talk among ourselves, I am optimistic. That is why I say anybody who wants to present any condition, present any kind of condition. But trust me, you must know that the people of Southern Cameroon, before whom we are engaging, are watching us. They have written a lot of them to me. We will vomit you people, each and every one of you, if after this weekend, if on the 21st, you still keep talking about meetings to talk unity and collaboration. We don't want your unity. Talk to us about collaboration. And some ask me, will you people go and form the new thing that you are forming and want to do election and allow? I said, no, we're not forming something new. It's collaboration, meaning that the existing structures are coming together to put in place principles, right, that will govern our way of operation, so that all this nonsense of mudslinging and all whatnot should stop, and we should be able to talk to each other, do joint fundraisers. We are going to be able to talk of a lot of things and be able to address the concerns, to address the needs of those who are offering their lives on ground zero in what I want to say is in real time. Meaning, when we get out of the morning, we know there's a need in Libya level, we are very fast to respond. We hear there's a need in Kopenhagen, right there, we are answering. We hear there's a need in Jikwa, we are there. That is the spirit the people want to see from us. And once we develop that spirit, trust me, there would be an earthquake at levels where you will not understand. It will be a chain reaction. We simply need to demonstrate our selflessness. We simply need to show that this is not an era for us to start hunting for titles, an era for us to start hunting for positions, because what the people want first is freedom. Let us hand them that freedom. I was talking to Comrade Sako the other day. I said, I'm a sovereign in Ashom, and I like us to sit on the hills of Ashom. I enjoy palm wine. You understand what I'm saying? Good palm wine. I used to tell my brother Ebenezer Akanga, who is in Yaoundé, that the only way you pass to be chatty today is you pass through Ashom. So if this country were free, you have better road than you pass through another side. So when you pass through another side, now we'll stand and connect, and then we'll meet in the middle and enjoy our country. We need a free Southern Cameroon, and all of us need to have our hands on deck to do it. Nobody can do it for us. Those people are watching us. They have been thinking that it was a child's play. They have seen it's getting serious. But shall it be serious right to the end? That is the question we have to answer this weekend.
Thank you. Let me get back to Comrade Chairman Kometa. You have been in this revolution for quite some time now as leader of the SCNC North America. And this child was birthed in your hands as the chairman of the SCNC, and you get really involved in building what has became SCACUF, the governing council, and now the interim government. And now we're talking about bringing all these other groups to working together. If I may ask, what are your expectations going into the events at this weekend? Do you really see the chances, the possibility of every leader saying, I lay down myself, I lay down the name of my group, we just want to collaborate, make sure that the international community sees us as working together for the people of Ambazonia? Do you see that happening? As Comrade John Mbah has said, that may not really be actualized at this weekend, but coming out of this, what are you expecting immediately coming out of the weekend?
Okay, thank you, Secretary Chris. But before I answer that question, I'd like to come back to the event on Sunday the 19th. I'd like to tell all Southern Cameroonians who will be here on the 19th and all those who live in the DC metropolis, the signature collection, there are spots where you can go and sign if you cannot print that form or if you cannot go online. In Laurel, in Lanham, Greenbelt, Langley Park, Tacoma Park, White Oak, there are, yes, just call and go, get in there and sign. To those who cannot go to these places, on Sunday the 19th, we have enough forms. Sunday the 19th, there will be enough forms and pens for those who are not able to sign before that day. Now, coming back to your question. The SCNC, since we know after AAC1 and AAC2, the SCNC was born, and since then, we have had many other movements that have come up. We are talking about movements that support, that stand for the complete independence of Southern Cameroon, that's Ambazonia. Sitting here, I am the chairman of the SCNC North America. I am not the national chairman of the SCNC. Our national chairman, Fongalafor, Pam Fongalafor, we know is one of those who was kidnapped and he is held hostage in Yaoundé. The SCNC did meet in Geneva this year and elected an acting chairman, Comrade Sako Prizo, who is in France. So, but he could not be here because he said there's no point in him coming. I'm the chairman of the SCNC North America, and all roads lead here, so he doesn't see why he should be coming when I'm here. So that's why I'm sitting here. We are not here to pretend in front of our people that we have really come together to make sure that we all take this fight to the very end. Before coming out on the open, we have met, we have been talking. Of course, we have visited each other, we have been communicating, and we are sure that this time we would deliver. As all of us know, there are differences, yes, but these differences are not very important. That is what I always say. What is important is Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. We should keep aside our different movements. We should keep aside our personal egos. Let us push the terrorist republic out of our country. When we have our country back, people who are interested in running for political office will do that. For now, I can assure our people that all of the movements that are involved, unfortunately, they are just men, all the frontline leaders are men. We know the ladies don't like this, but we would like the ladies to step in and, for instance, the SCNC, we need ladies. So if there's a lady who would like to be chairman of the SCNC in North America, you are very welcome. So, but all these men, all the brothers, they have discussed, we have been talking, and they will continue this weekend. And I pray the Lord Almighty that when we leave from here, we should be talking about Southern Cameroons as one. We should have one account with funds taking care of ground zero, and every leader should be thinking about what to do to liberate Southern Cameroons. So, Comrade Chris, enough has been spoken, enough work has been done. I'm very confident that when we separate on the 20th of August, we'll be going back smiling because we have achieved the aim. What is the aim? All of us have come together to speak with one voice and to rally like one person to chase out La Republique from Southern Cameroons.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, now I get back to you. You initiated this conference coming up at the weekend. If you can share to our people what exactly you had in your mind when you initiated this conference, and do you see at this moment, because you've had lots of backroom meetings with other leaders, do you see at this meeting, at this moment, that dream that you had from the beginning being fulfilled going into the meeting from tomorrow?
Yeah, Comrade Chris, it is a work in progress. When there's a will, there's always a way. When we try and fail, there are two ways we can react to that. It's either we give up or we determine not to fail again. So the most important thing now is that it is the right thing to do. And if I know that this is the right thing to do, it doesn't matter how many times I fail, I endeavor to do it better and to get the results I want. And I think that this has been a work in progress. All this is happening now because all of us have shifted with time our positions as we started building trust through communication and interactions. And I think that what's happening now is not imposed on anybody. Is that we have seen collectively the necessity to do the right thing and do it now. And I think that I've heard from amongst us, even as we interact, that I am serious. I'm serious this time. Look, I'm serious. And I think that translates to a serious determination to make this thing work. And we have ideas, and we have heard from our different people we lead before coming to the table. Today, I had a meeting with the country representatives from around the world, about close to 20 to 30 of them. I wanted to listen to them, what they think. And I know that the other leaders have also listened to their leadership around wherever they are. And they are coming to the table representing those views. And I think that because I see a greater will expressed today by leadership, if leadership is leadership, it's not led by the people, but those that lead. I can tell you with greater positivism that this time around we are going to make better progress than ever before. Yeah, and people should be patient with us. Um, for me, I told us the other time that success is direction, it's not speed. Um, we can have varying degree, various speeds can apply, but it doesn't just mean that because you're running very fast, so you are going to succeed. You can be running the wrong direction and you are done. So we have chosen the right direction. Be patient with us because some have long steps, some have short steps. But one thing I know is that if we don't change the direction, we shall arrive. I know that they seem patient because of the things that are happening. But I want to tell you that this time they are going to happen sooner than we think, much sooner than we think. Why I'm emphasizing this is that we have followers. Some of them are louder than us. I want to plead that at this time, let everybody tone down and give this opportunity a chance. There are some people who even want to follow us into the room and let us sit there and let them do the talking. Please, can you stay outside? And I will make sure that when we have that meeting, if it is 6 of us or 7 of us that's supposed to be there, there will be not one added to the 7. Because some people just, they always, please just know that the same leader that you know, that you chose to be a leader over you, still has the faculties to lead. In this case, what I did with the country head, I said, submit your ideas to me and trust me to walk into the room and speak or discuss on your behalf. So shall it be. So that some voices they bring distraction. They don't encourage us to go in the right direction. So they will be outside for now, so that the leaders can agree on something at least that will become the basis for our going forward.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, Mr. President, I will still come back to you. I know you have been thinking of this process for quite a while, and in your mind, there are things you have thought of, areas you've thought of where you can have collaboration and unity with the other frontline movements. When we come back from the break, I will come back to you and have you express a little bit of your mind, what you think your interim government can, the areas of collaboration from your interim government to other frontline movements. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and again, you are watching us from the new ABC, Ambazonian Broadcasting Corporation. I hope you are enjoying it. Now, remember, this is just a testing. We're going to be testing the ABC for the next 1 month. And I know you cannot receive it from ground zero now on your television set, but I can assure you in a few days or in a maximum of a week, you will be receiving the signals right there in your bedroom on ground zero on your television set. So again, thank you for joining us. Mr. President, I was about asking you the areas of collaboration you think the interim government can collaborate with other frontline leaders when you went about thinking about this conference.
Yes, we can collaborate in many domains. Um, in communication, for example, we can collaborate to make sure that we have one voice, because this is a revolution that is prosecuted uh, by on the media. And when we have confusing voices on the media, that spells a lot of that speaks a lot of confusion in the storm. Meanwhile, there might not be. It's just an appearance. We can collaborate and have a major platform for our correspond of our that will be able to help us regulate our our presence, our media presence, and our media persona. Then we can collaborate in terms of diplomacy. This confusion that we have, sometimes you go into a certain circle, you see some people say, it is this group that is here, you are not here. And then somebody makes an application and another person comes and say, you are not supposed to be there. And then a letter comes today for petition. Another letter comes from the same group of people from another faction to that same office, claiming that we are the legitimate guys, we are the people. Those other people are fake. It gives a confusing signal to those who are even taking that to be serious. They start asking themselves, are we really dealing with it? This problem can be real. Are we dealing with the real people here? We can collaborate in the area of defense. That's the area I thought was the easiest one to defend our motherland. That see, especially for those groups that already have the communities on the ground that are defending themselves, defending our women, our children. I was thinking that that would become the easiest thing. But because there are many things that still are different, done differently, and for some reasons it did not work. But I think that's something that can happen here and here right now. We can also collaborate as it is. Like we want to raise money, for example. Like like what we want to do on Sunday. We are raising money. We are raising it. And even though some people will still say that that's not good. You see that there's very little opposition. I've tried to scan the media space. I've seen very little opposition to the media to the fundraiser. I've not seen one opposition to the fundraiser on Sunday. So you see, we all agree that that fund should raise. If I set the target to 1 million, I will not have real opposition from our people. They will say that's a good idea. Some trolls from La Republique who are answering our names can come there and make few comments. But you see, generally, the leadership will say, oh, it's a good thing to do. We can do that. Maybe that will touch the soul of our followers and the people of Ambazonia and bring out some more money. There are many areas we can collaborate. Everything we are doing for this struggle, we can do it jointly or separately. It's a matter of choice and convenience as the leaders will choose. But the sooner the better.
Thank you. Comrade Akuro, back to you, sir. You represent the consortium in this movement. What do you see the consortium bringing on table in the collaboration era that we are in?
The first thing I'll point out is that I will go back to what Comrade Sako just pointed out a while ago, that you always have people who want to fill the space, who want to feel important, and who want to say yes, we were part of it, we made this thing work. At the beginning of the question you asked him, you pointed out that he initiated this move. Of course, we need to give him kudos for getting in a serious input to make sure that this thing gets where we all want it. It's true that you definitely must have made an oversight, not to mention the guys who put themselves together. I think that group involved people from the IG, involved people from the AGC, involved people from SCYL, from all the organizations. The consortium, we really do not pride ourselves of members for our organization abroad. The consortium is an organization of organizations. mainly grassroots organizations on ground zero. So we might not have had people who were involved, but we got involved at some point. And so I want to say that when the guys put their heads together and all whatnot and planned to even hold a conference in Canada, which of course we decided to harmonize at our first come together of leaders to make sure we have one conference, that will have this conference held in the United States for so many reasons that perhaps don't need to be elucidated here. It was because Comrade Sako felt that although he had called the meeting, he could still go ahead to give, right, certain things and take others, okay, to enable us to be able to have something that makes the people of Ambazonia glad. So our first session, like Kometa will not say no, was a give and a take. And so at the end of the day, we appropriate this mighty initiative to every other Southern Cameroonian and Ambazonian, to whatever group you belong. And it is because we have made the people to feel that they own it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They appropriate it to themselves. They are now looking up to it with a lot of expectations. What I'll point out is that at the level of the consortium, we are first of all naturally a collaborative organization. You know as well as I do that it is a consortium that started prosecuting this phase of the revolution. When we came together in Cameroon, I call it Cameroon because that's how we called it then. The first thing the consortium did was open up, first of all, to the ANC, to the SCNC. And so you really you understand that even in the middle of the night, we had a lot of consultations with Pan Fongalamfo. When we moved to Nigeria, the first instinct was to get to the to Pan Fongalamfo and work. So it is the openness of the consortium that led to what we have today. The consortium naturally is an organization that believes in synergy by its very nature and by our thoughts. That is why when comrades called us from South Africa and all were not called from around the world, can we meet? We said yes. That is why when this opportunity came up again, can we meet? You remember that before this, the consortium has sent out a number of press releases asking for this collaboration, for this come together, for this synergy, because we know it is only the synergy that reigned among the various organizations that make up the consortium back on ground zero that made us teach La République du Cameroon a lesson publicly, visibly to the whole wide world on the 9th of January 2017. I'm sure the whole world was shocked to realize that a group of people, not a political party, not a frontline political party, nothing, said, let there be ghost towns. Let the towns be shut down completely on the 9th of January. And what happened? It came to pass, right? And questions were asked. For the first time, our folks in the Republic du Cameroun said, and I'm quoting things that were said on this, they say, désormais, Paul bien doit comprendre que son territoire commence et s'achève soit à Loum, Kongsamba ou bien à Babadjou. De l'autre côté, c'est le consortium qui règne. That was the force of unity. And you see, we didn't go far to look for a slogan. We picked the slogan of the SCNC because it was an affair for Southern Cameroonians, which was what? The force of argument and not the argument of force. And it is that same spirit that the constitution we believe should reign in the talks that we're going to have. Let it be the force of argument and not the argument of force. Don't come to the meeting telling us about your numbers. Don't come to the meeting telling us about the strength of your army on ground zero. Don't come to the meeting telling us about the strength of the people who are following you. Come to the meeting with an open heart, because after all is said and done, these are all Southern Cameroonians who can still bid bye to you. Am I right? These are all Southern Cameroonians can tell you, yes, we have been standing with you, but you have failed to understand our aspirations, and we will move on. But let me tell you, the only winner in what we are going to do is the Southern Cameroonian, is the Ambazonian, is the freedom we seek, is posterity. The only loser will be us. And let me again point out, the frontline leaders were leaders because the people call us leaders. If we fail them, they will flush us all down the drains. And what will happen? Let us not dream that if we are flushed down the drains, the revolution will fail. This revolution is ordained by God, and it must work. Let us put it in our minds that as we go to sit down and meet, the people are watching. The people are waiting. Posterity too is taking notes. That is why the fundraiser that has been called on Sunday is that other single moment. Because you see, that Sunday is a double event. And you know, La République du Cameroon had 2 law firms in America. We want to show La République on Sunday 2 events on one day that, as a matter of fact, we will be able to overcome. 1, let our numbers in Washington tell the story. Let our numbers. Don't sit in your house and say, let me sit and then watch on TV and see how many people came. Because if everybody does like you, there will be nobody in Washington. Don't sit in your house. All of you, everybody in America is capable of obtaining permission. We all know that. Let us all be there. And then for the fundraiser, I want to say this and reiterate it over and over and over. La République du Cameroon, all their ministers, all their media houses, everybody, don't be surprised if they even decide to do a live stream of our fundraising event on Sunday. They may do that. They may do a live stream to show the rest of the people that, look at those people that you say are fighting for you. Can they raise money? Come out on that day. Whatever you are doing, keep it aside. We need to, on camera, before the whole wide world. The $250,000 we are talking about is nothing. It's less than the 156 million CFA that a few people, sat in Yaoundé and raised. On camera, we must show Yaoundé that yes, we are capable of walking the talk, and that we know that freedom has a price, and we are ready to pay the price of that freedom. Don't sit in your house and say, I'll not contribute because I'm not supposed to give $10,000. I'm not will give $20,000. If we all give that amount and we hit 1 million that evening, it will only be another very sound victory. But let us all be part of this history that we want to make. $250,000 that we are setting as a target is not money. It is even change. But it is a symbol. It is a message. Let us send that message. Let the message get across.
Comrade Chairman, are we able to raise that amount of money? Going by what you know, I mean, from your mobilization, do you see us raising that money?
Oh yes, I'm very optimistic. We are going to raise much more than that even. Why do I say this? I say this because many people have been calling. Many people have been calling already saying, oh, my check is ready. There are some who will come to the demonstration ground with their envelopes because they may be going back to their various states. I'm very confident we are going to raise this money. Why? Because this time the people are very pleased that the leaders have come together. They are beginning to speak as one, with one voice. So this is a catalyst. This has inspired the people, and they are ready to bring out the money. I know in the DC metropolis last year, 22nd of September, over 1,000 people did not make it to New York because of buses. So, but this time we are here in Washington DC. They don't need to be taking a bus to go somewhere else. People are coming from all over the world to Washington DC. But as we all know, the DC metropolis, this is the single metropolis where you have the largest concentration of Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians. And if they don't come out, then they would have failed us, they would have failed the people on ground zero. But I count on them, I trust in them, I believe in them that they would come out and do what they always do. Because even when we had my trip to Boya, DC Metropolis raised the greatest amount. But this is still insignificant because we are here, we are here in our thousands. And this should reflect in the contribution. Because if we just take 1,000 people here, let's say each give just $50. How much is that? 1,000 times 50, that's 5. That's 50,000. That's just 50,000. So if we take 2,000, that's already 100,000. But I know we are here more than that, and many more people are coming from out of state. And as Comrade John said, do not sit behind and say A is going to give 5,000, B will give 10,000. No, it should be, what have I done? What have I contributed for my country? Not waiting for others to contribute. So I am very convinced that we will beat the target. We'll beat the target that we're setting here. And my dear people, especially those of you.
If you don't mind, let me just add this to your communications very fast before you move on. I want to let people know that this fundraiser is not just for America. It's not just for those who are based in the United States of America, those who are based in Canada. It's for the whole world, which means you are in Europe, you are in wherever, because we're going to have lines open. People can contribute through PayPal, can contribute through a Cash App. You will be able to communicate whatever means you will participate through, you will contribute through, so that we are able to attain this figure. So it is a mega fundraiser for Ambazonians across the world. That's why I understand you are saying we may even go too far above this, but we're just setting this little bar to make sure that at least we send a simple message. When we get to the bigger one, of course, the big SCNC will be able to, state that.
We know our enemy is watching. So we should not fail ourselves come Sunday the 19th. Please come out with that checkbook. Come out with those savings. Those who have been saving pennies, get them, go to the banks and change them. We need the money. This money is not for us. We're taking it back. This money is for Ground Zero. So I'd like to challenge each and every one of us. Let us come out on Sunday with those checkbooks, and at the end of the day, we should be smiling that we did it. As we already said, it's not only about those in the US. No, all Ambazonians the world over. Call in with your check, call in with how much you have. I have people from Ground Zero who have already sent in money, and they're ready to send more. So please, to those of us in the diaspora, let us think about our people back home, the sufferings, and let us bring their sufferings to a stop as soon as possible. So we count on all of you to come out, bring the support. Sitting here, I will make sure I bring my own support. All the leaders here, they will bring their own support. So let us support each other to support Ground Zero.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, Mr. President, I come back to you. Lots of people will be very encouraged to give when they know what this money would be used for. I believe spearheading this and having had quite a number of discussions with other leaders, you people have arrived at what or how this money collected would be used. You want to throw a little more light on that?
Yes. We have many needs on Ground Zero, and those needs are increasing every day. We decided in our pre-conclave that we have to do everything after our conference to have a unity fundraiser to address those needs directly. So this money is not going to swell the coffers of any of the movements. When I went around trying to raise some money, I heard some voices that said, if we see unity, more money is going to come out. If we see you guys working together like one man, so that we are sure that we will not only have a country, but we will have our nation all together intact. Then we are going to give. Somebody said, I will put, even if it's 10,000, I'm going to put it. If you were not just firing me up, here is my turn to fire you up, because that's going to happen. This is already happening. So you held me by that word, and you pushed me that, and you have been pushing other leaders that this thing must happen. Okay, now it's happening. Sunday is your own test to show us that really you stand for this. Those people who promise that they can give even 10,000, if I hear you guys, I see you hold hands with this person and you guys stand together in this, I will put the money on the table. Here is the time. Bring the money, put it on the table, because the needs are many. When you watch the television programs in La Republique, when you go on social media, if you have a WhatsApp and you belong to any group, and you see those images, you see those people crying and the needs of the people, the needs of it. If you see have connection with the refugees on the ground, then you know the trouble that we are dealing with daily. Let me tell you, we don't yet have any of those companies that are doing business in our territory paying us taxes. No. So it depends on you and I. It depends on you and I what we can bring. This is the test that if we came together to do things together as one, we will have the resources. Somebody told me something like that. Now I put it to a test. Prove it to all the leaders that this is going to be the case. That will be a reason not to make this enterprise a failure, because we want some proofs from your side. Please help us. If we make the baby steps, can you prove to us that this is the right step? By playing your own part, bring out the means that we need to prosecute this struggle.
Thank you, Mr. President. Comrade Akoro, I come back to you. Let's address social media. There are people on social media who will never see anything good coming from some leaders. At a time when we're all talking about collaboration and unity, what would you say to those on the social media who would rather that this thing doesn't happen, doesn't take place? What would you say to them?
I know usually when I'm confronted in life with some enterprise that seems difficult, the first thing I do is I smile. Because I know that my smile generally disarms my enemy. My smile makes my enemy feel that I'm just looking at him as if for her to make a non-starter. I will say this. At an era where we are all trying to come together, don't expect this coming together to be a walk in the park. I said this when I did a speech yesterday on the same medium. I pointed out clearly, and I'm repeating it out, that the enemies of unity and collaboration are just as strong as La République du Cameroon that we're fighting against. These enemies are both within our struggle and even out of the struggle. Conventional wisdom should tell you that old people will be so willing to die to save the younger ones who will perpetuate their generations, who will perpetuate their kind. That is why I remember when we used to talk folklore in the villages. When I spent some good time in Kuruga and in Ashon, we used to throw these things like riddles. Say, can you tell me that country where the young people go to war and the old ones stand behind and cover them? I said, oh, we'll be thinking, they'll say, is spear grass. If you know spear grass, you see that the little shoots down there, if your leg passes on it, it pierces you so violently. But why are these shoots so strong? Because they are covered by the older ones. So you don't easily attain the warriors. But unfortunately, in the case of Southern Cameroons, we have old people, 100 years and counting, 80-something years and counting, 90 years and counting, 70 and counting. They are all close to their graves, but they would rather the young people all die and let them remain ministers. Let them remain this, let them remain children, let them remain that. They have desecrated our tradition. Because the tradition of chieftaincy, of funds, used to mean those who are ready to cover, because that's what it means. You cover your community. But these people, what are they doing? They are exposing us. People like Republic soldiers today can get right into our caves, can get right into our everywhere. Because these greedy old fools, permit me for once to use that kind of word, because I've never had a chance to use this kind of word on people. But let me say this, because I am angry. They are determined to ruin us. And so they have their offshoots in our midst. They have their offshoots in our midst. We will go out there and do everything to ruin this unity we are seeking. to ruin this collaboration we are searching.
Even,
but let me assure you,
even within, I'm talking about the
I'm
saboteurs
talking of the struggle.
within
I'm talking
the
within the struggle, but they are
Yeah.
offshoots of these people.
Yes.
Because when these old people go and sit down, they say no. Take those of the Southwest. Say no. Everything that's happening is Graffiti people. We have to hunt down Graffiti people to the logical end. But all the villages being burned out by La Republique. All their children have been destroyed by La Republique. You have those from the Northwest. They come and sit down. They say, but the leaders of that thing are from the Southwest. And then they are just giving us a bad name. We're not part of it. But they forget that the same exactions that are taking place in the Southwest are taking place in the Northwest. Let me call it Northern Zone, Southern Zone. Because that is a language we want our people to start using. So what I want to say is, these people there have their offshoots abroad. Have their offshoots within this revolution. A lot of them are the saboteurs that we are seeing. We can't pretend. I don't use another language. I am known not for using quoted language on things that are serious. These are the saboteurs. These are people who are swearing that I can't work. But me, I will assure you, most of those activists, let them look out there and see how people are reacting to them. When you go out there and you denigrate leaders at the eve of a meeting where leaders want to sit down and talk collaboration, you give the impression that you're supporting one group against the other. No, you're a liar. You're not supporting that group. You are simply trying to play against the interests of not only that group, but of the entire revolution and the entire people of Southern Cameroon. That is why I insist that all those who want to see us build this firm collaboration, pray for us. Pray for us as hard as you pray for any wonderful thing you want God to do for you. Because the forces against us working together are very strong. But let me assure you, if what I keep seeing in my sleep is real, then I only pray God to open the eyes of some of these people to see that those who are against us are so few in number compared to they who are fighting for us. Meaning we are not in a lost venture. We are not in an encounter that is going to crash. Join us. Join the winning side. The winning side is a side of total collaboration. It's a side of encouragement. The people on ground zero keep telling us every day, work together. We see them work together, but for a few lost sheep. We see them collaborate, but for a few lost sheep. We have seen our people open their houses to feed the neighbors who don't have food because of the revolution. We have seen landlords decide to waive rents for several months because they know we're in a revolution and it's a time to be supported. We have seen people on ground zero. I remember this woman I met at the Obudu Ranch, where I couldn't hold my tears. This woman was running. She had 2 children, but she saw a man gaunt before her. He crashed. She knew the man's wife had died. She stopped, went back and carried his own 2 children to add to her own 2 to run. She didn't say, on going back they may kill my children. That is the spirit that the people of Southern Cameroon should embrace. That image stays in my mind. That image reminds me that anytime you want to talk I, know that you will never be a person without the we. That is why during this particular moment, we should learn to give up I and embrace we. It is we. That is that thick broom that will be able to bring down the enemy we seek to destroy. And again, to go back to what Comrade Sako talked on concerning the fundraiser and that Comrade Kometa harped on, I want to remind us all that this moment would be a unique moment, not only for La Republique to see, but for the world to know that we are truly serious after our freedom. Let me put this very clearly. When you go to the bank, you say, I want to take a loan to buy a house. What does the banker ask you? He asks you, how much do you have, right? Because the amount of money you have demonstrates your seriousness to want to acquire that house. If you just come and say, no, I have nothing, I just want you to lend me money to go and buy a house, no banker takes you serious. They show you the door. They'll talk to you very politely. They will encourage you, go work hard, do this, and come. This money we want to raise on this day is our collateral security to all those who have more money to want to help us to see that we are ready to do that down payment. This $250,000 we want to raise on Sunday is our down payment for our freedom. Don't stay in your house and say, I will not participate because others will do it. I expect, candidly, we expect, honestly, to have more than 250,000 calls. Why not 1,000,000 calls of people calling to give in money? Because the world should see that we are ready to put down our down payment. They should see that our down payment is there. We may not be all of us the leaders put together because we're in a revolution. It's just like you are in a media house that runs 24 on 24. Can everybody go to sleep? No. Can everybody go on leave? No. Not all the leaders may sit down at the panel at that time because we have things happening. Right now we are talking that some who are on assignments. Assignments we all know. Which assignments will have to benefit this revolution? But the spirit is we are all in. And let everyone know this.
All right. Thank you very much. We're running out of time. I will ask Comrade Kometa, and then I will get back to the president for some round-up comments that you may have, that things we haven't talked about that you would want to mention before we close, and I will get back to the president. He will do the same. Comrade Kometa, I'll start with you, sir.
Yes. Sunday is the D-Day. This means we are all waiting. We expect every Southern Cameroonian Ambazonian in North America to be in DC. So, please, if you were not thinking about coming, just better hop on the plane, hop on the train, just get into a car and start driving. We earlier said people should not be worried about hotels. If you come and you don't have money for the hotel, bring your check, raise it for the fundraiser. Don't bother about the place to sleep. All of us will share our homes. Our homes are open to anyone who comes and hasn't got a place to sleep. Then, that evening, as all of us know, we are spending money to organize this conference. Therefore, we need to get this money back. So the gate fee is a minimal $50. $50 to get in. And then inside we'll have to raise funds. All the funds that are raised inside, all of this is for ground zero. And as Comrade Mbah John said, the funds is our down payment. So please come with your checkbooks. Do not forget them. There is a church service. We are at the White House, Lafayette Park. So when you get, if you don't know where the Lafayette Park is, when you get to the White House, of course, because we'll be in the thousands, you will not get missing. So come straight to the Lafayette Park. That's where we are going to be. Those who, please don't say you need to go to church to worship God.
What time do you expect them to start showing up there?
We start at 10, so we expect that by 9:30 people should be there. By 9:30, I promise I'll be there already. Some of us from the DC area will be there already waiting for our guests, especially those coming from out of state. So by 9:30 we'll be there. And we once more appeal to everybody from every part of the US, or every part of North America, come out on that Sunday. Let us show the world that we are serious. And as I earlier said, please, let this be the last time that we are organizing the Million Man March.
If I may go back to that, what would be the location for the fundraiser in the evening?
And the location for the fundraiser, and the time too. The location for the fundraiser, it's the Viking Center. This is 15212 Dino Drive. The flyers are out already. 15212 Dino Drive. We expect it to start at 7 p.m. and run till 3 a.m. So to those who will be going back afterwards, we expect you to give your checks, to hand your checks over to those who will be collecting them when we are in DC. To those who are here, who will be staying, come over to the Viking Center. We'll be there all night. And of course, as we'll be there, it's a vigil too for all our departed brothers and sisters. So
Any dress code?
no, there is no dress code. There is no dress code. We know it's summer here, it's hot. So come in what you feel free in, but come ready to sing, dance, and pray for all those who have departed. And of course, come with the checkbooks so that we should support all the needs of our people on ground zero.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, before I get back to you, Comrade Akuro had something to probably add to what Comrade Kometa is saying.
Yeah, the first thing I
Make
want
it
to say
brief.
is that first, make sure that even if you dress in whatever way, make sure you have a blue and white with you.
Blue
Because
and white.
the blue and white.
Those are
Make
national,
sure that you
our
have
national
the
colors.
national colors of Ambazonia with you, because in front of the White House, whatever camera comes, whoever is there should see a lot of blue and white. They know that this is Ambazonia. That visual is very important. That's first thing. Then second thing, also note that the fundraising is going to be streamed live, and so we are going to communicate to you the telephone numbers for those who are out of the American continent, who will be out of Maryland or Washington D.C., where this thing is going to take place, how you call and participate to bring in your donations. And so we're going to consult, and I'll bring to you all those numbers during a live show. For the first time, I'm going to be live on YouTube tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Amber time. That will be exactly 4 p.m. 4:30 p.m. 3:30 p.m. Sorry, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be live on YouTube, and my YouTube channel, just say Akuro John Mbah. Go type Akuro John Mbah on YouTube, and you will be live with me at that time. I'll take a lot of questions, provide a lot of answers, and that will be just prior to our getting in, and I'll be able to get a lot of information to share. But take note that we are going to continue communications because we really want to be able to clarify a lot of things. So this fundraiser will be live. People will call from all over. I know that the time we are going to be up in the US, a lot of people will be sleeping already in other countries, but don't sleep, because our people who are in the forests don't have good sleep. Our fighters don't sleep. La République du Cameroon attacks now more and more in our camps at 3 a.m., at 2 a.m. So don't sleep at least for this one night. Let us all be up. It's a vigil night, and let us all count the money together. Because like we said, every 15 minutes, we'll be telling you how much has come in. We'll be telling you, we'll all do the tallying, and by the time we go to sleep, everybody should be heaving a sigh of relief. This is the first time we're raising the money together. A lot of you have wanted to ask, what has that which this group, that group, or the other have raised done? Please, this is the first time we're raising together, to spend together, to work together, to see that it goes on together. Trust us this single moment. Give us this chance. Stay back and see the result.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there will be T-shirts, flags, and other gadgets there for sale. Ambazonian T-shirts and flags. They will be available for sale.
All right. Thank you. Mr. President, I'm sure you would have something to add to all that has been said to our people. What do you have to add?
Yes, thank you for a wonderful program. I just want to go back to my petitions. Petition, please. You might just still be contemplating, planning to do something. Get those petitions printed out. Yeah, send them by WhatsApp to somebody, or take them to work tomorrow. Tomorrow you might still be going to work. Get your co-workers, get your neighbors. Make sure your pride of place in this demonstration is that you have at least one sheet of paper which has 20 signatures. And if every one of us came to that place with 20, just a sheet of 20, then I can be sure that we are going to hit the 100,000 plus mark. And there are people, one of the person I know, she told me she has printed 100 of those sheets. I said, wow. He said she has printed 100 just to take around so that I can get 20 signatures. Oh my God! Please do that. That is the war. You have been frustrated, terribly annoyed angered by the pictures you have seen. Some people don't eat, they can't eat meat because of what they have seen. You are disgusted. Translate that into action. Give us 10 sheets of paper signed by 20 Americans of voters. You have reacted better than just tears. Please do that. Make sure you send it by WhatsApp to any of the people who are members, who are organizers, or a member of IG who is attending this program, or you send your email to presidency at ambazoniagov.org. If you do that, you have shot a bullet right into the heart of the enemy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, panel, for showing up for this very special presentation. And thank you, every listener out there watching ABC for the very first time. Again, this is still a baby we are building on. For those on ground zero, I can promise you, one of these days, ABC will be in your bedroom. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you were inspired. A lot is still coming up at the weekend. And again, remember, print those petitions, get them out, get people to sign them. If you're in Canada, in the USA, that is about you. Again, I want to thank the President and thank Comrade Mbah and the Chairman of the Restoration Council, Comrade Elvis Kometa, for being here tonight for this special program. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night.